All right, we've got significant news on Trump's health. There are some conflicting reports. There's no question about that. But apparently, two sources saying that he's having trouble breathing. So, and another very important source saying that they're very concerned about his health. So, I'm going to give you all of the context, the good news, the bad news about his health in a second, and some of the ramifications. First, I just want to say, as we do in all the live videos, our live videos are sponsored by Two Strong Coffee. TwoStrongCoffee.com, Rebel Roast and Uprising. So we'll put the link in the description box. You should always check the description box for more articles. It gives you more information and more information about the show as well. So it's organic, it's fair trade, and it tastes great. So TwoStrongCoffee.com/TYT, okay? And the other people that bring us these videos are you guys. So I read your names when you sign up for membership throughout when I'm doing them. The join button's right down below. And I see all of the current members' names as they scroll by, and sometimes I read your comments. We do this show together, and we're stronger together. So now, let me give you, first of all, Peter Baker from the New York Times, his comment from sources inside the White House. Two people close to the White House, or actually in this case, close to the White House, not necessarily inside, said in separate interviews that the president had trouble breathing on Friday and that his oxygen level dropped, prompting his doctors to give him supplemental oxygen while at the White House. Okay, now, that is going to be relevant based on what his doctor, Dr. Sean Conley, said today in a press briefing. So, number one, Conley came out and said he's in good shape. Well, I'm going to give you a second quote from the White House indicating he is not in good shape. Then Conley went on to say, when asked, was he ever given oxygen, he said he's not on oxygen right now. So then they asked him a second time, a third time, and a fourth time. And each time he said, the president is not on oxygen right now. So maybe he was on oxygen on Friday, as those reports indicate. Now, remember, he took the chopper on Friday, and so maybe they had to put him on oxygen at the White House. That's part of the reason they got concerned and brought him to Walter Reed Medical Center. But we all saw him walk out of his own accord on Friday. That doesn't mean he isn't very sick. I've walked around being very sick, not with coronavirus. But obviously they're not taking him out on a stretcher. He's not on a ventilator at that point on Friday. But no question that his doctor clearly avoided saying if he's been on oxygen, when he was on oxygen, and all he would say is not at this particular time. And so, and by the way, that doesn't mean that he's not going back on oxygen later. Now, just going on oxygen doesn't mean you're on the precipice of death. Still, he has at least an 80% chance of survival. So overall, now 20% is not a good number. I mean, nobody wants to take a 20% chance with not surviving, right? But I'm not saying it's 80-20. In fact, in an earlier video, I explained why, because of the treatment that he's getting and how we've improved medicine, it could be as high as a 98% chance of survival, even for someone who's 74 and overweight like he is. He also has a heart condition. That probably brings his percentage down. That's the one he's been trying to hide. Look, this is part of the problem with Trump lying tens of thousands of times. No one believes anything that his administration says when it's really important things like this as to, is he going to survive? Is he not going to survive? That has massive ramifications, not just politically, but policy-wise, security-wise, for this country and for the whole world. So, and now there's another thing that the doctor at least messed up on, to put it politely. He said that Trump originally got coronavirus 72 hours ago. Well, 72 hours ago is Wednesday when the doctor said it was, if you did the math on it, it'd be Wednesday afternoon that he contracted it. They told us on Thursday night. And not only that, Donald Trump went to a Republican fundraiser on Wednesday night. And apparently, by the way, not only was it inside outside, but it also had a buffet. I mean, that's a smorgasbord of coronavirus being passed around. Now, it turns out, he clarified today, God knows what the truth is, but they pointed out, hey, that would mean that Trump knowingly went to this event and perhaps spread the virus, including the Republican donors, Did he really do that? And then the doctor came out and said, no, I didn't mean 30 to 72 hours. I meant 3 days. And I didn't mean this. And I didn't mean that his treatment started 48 hours ago. I meant it started 2 days ago. So which one is the truth? God knows. And I mean, Trump has had his doctors lie for him dozens of times. He even stole his own medical records from his own doctor, Dr. Bornstein in New York. He had sent a couple of goons to literally barge into the office and without permission grab his medical records. That was done about a year and a half ago or so, if my recollection is right. I mean, it's not, Dr. Bornstein says this. His own personal doctor, Chad Atchison, thank you for using YouTube Super Chat. His own doctor says, yeah, they barged into my office. I didn't give them permission. They grabbed the president's files and ran away. It's insane. I mean, with the fact that we don't even talk about that is insane. So, that given that history of lying, and of course the preposterous letters about how wonderful his health is. Then he went to and had an emergency medical procedure at Walter Reed. I forget exactly what time ago, but about a year ago or so. And they came out and lied about it in a preposterous way. Klaus M54, thank you for becoming a member. So given all this, we don't quite know. In the beginning, it even sounded like he might have had coronavirus or known about having coronavirus all the way back on Tuesday when he was debating Joe Biden. If that was the case, right now, forget sympathy, forget anything. I would be over the top furious. That would almost mean that he was trying to infect the guy he's running against. And it would have been outrageous. Now, and remember, his family was maskless at the debate, even though everybody told them to put the mask on. Michael, thank you for using YouTube Super Chat. Steven Stanton, thank you for signing up. But, guys, I got to clarify this. Super important. I don't want you leaving this video thinking the wrong thing. But it turns out there is no timeline where Trump had it and knew it on Tuesday. So because of that, I'm not as furious as I would have been if that was the case, right? Now, the other reason that I was worried about the Tuesday thing, not just because of the confusing timeline the doctor gave out and when that 72 hours would have stretched into, but also because, if you remember, when Trump went to the debate, they were supposed to test both sides, but Trump refused to get tested and insisted on an honor system. And then there's one last wrinkle to that. So it's not like it's impossible that he was positive on Tuesday, like coronavirus positive on Tuesday. He says he gets tested all the time, and I assumed, and I don't know why I would ever believe him on anything, but I believed him that he was getting tested all the time. But as it turns out, the doctors refuse, and the White House refuses to say when his last negative test was. Now, that is very curious and very problematic. Connor Ryan, thank you for becoming a member. You guys are amazing. Rob Yell, thank you for the YouTube Super Chat contribution. Really appreciate it. Kim Lynn just signed up. Thank you, Kim. Appreciate it. So it's the join button below if you want to sign up for membership. It's super helpful. Okay, and again, our sponsor is twostrongcoffee.com/TYT. It's helps progressive causes, and it's organic, it's fair trade, and tastes great. So let me keep going. Last couple of important things. I got to give you the other super important quote here. So the timing is fishy. We're not 100% sure about the debate, but it seems unlikely that he knew he had it at the debate, although they will not say when his last negative test was. And all of these things are super spreader events. The Rose Garden event where half the Republican Party got sick. I'll do another video about that. I mean, the number of Republicans that now have COVID is stunning. Charleston Manning, thank you so much, brother. Really appreciate the YouTube Super Chat. All right, so here's the other really important quote about his condition. Kip Horton, thank you for joining. This is what the White House put out. The president's vitals over the last 24 hours were very concerning, and the next 48 hours will be critical in terms of his care. We are still not on a clear path to full recovery. Okay, so, oh boy, that doesn't sound good. And so, classic Trump administration, his doctor comes out and says he's in good health, and then the White House releases a statement literally 10 minutes later saying, no, his condition is very concerning, and he's definitely not out of the woods. So now the reporters are so mad about that dichotomy. Normally they don't even intimate at who the anonymous sources might be or who might have given the statement. But in this case, a lot of the reporters that were not in the scrum are saying, well, we did see White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows clearly pull some reporters together and give them a statement. In other words, it's the Chief of Staff saying that his condition is very concerning, right? So that's where he is right now. Look, again, that doesn't mean he's not going to get better. There are basically three possible outcomes when someone, especially someone over the age of 65, gets coronavirus. One is, hey, they were lucky, and this is probably the biggest batch, and especially if they're relatively healthy, they get mild symptoms to sometimes a fever, etc., but they could stay home and they power past it and they're fine, okay? Then there is the second category which is the second largest category, where they get really sick and then you start to worry, and in some cases they even get the nip and tuck, but they pull out of it and then they get past it, okay? And then the smallest category is the ones obviously that don't get past it, get very sick, it deteriorates, and then something goes wrong, like a blood clot, or it just gets so bad they can't breathe anymore and they pass away. So remember, the biggest category are the ones that are light to medium and get past it. So if at this point it looks like Trump is right in between the first two categories of, he could be considered, if he pulls out of it right now, well, then it was medium. He got a fever, he had trouble breathing, but he recovered, right? If things continue to deteriorate, then you could say, uh-oh, he's in the second category, where the outer edge of that category is nip and tuck, right? The beginning of that category is, we're concerned, he continues to have trouble breathing, and we've got him in intensive care. So that would be where you really have to perk up, and it looks like we're right on the bubble of that. If it gets any worse, obviously I'll update you guys, and then that means you're moving. Then you're a second and third category are in play, and boy, that's real trouble, right? And that's what happened to Herman Cain, and obviously he passed away. So we're not there yet. Sky Pigeon, thank you for joining Young Turks. And guys, there's different levels. When you hit the join button, you'll see at $2 you're supporting us, and you are the Young Turks. And I see the Young Turks badge on all your names, and I feel like I literally, when I see your names, I feel like I'm doing the show with you guys, and in a sense, we're all in the same room here doing it. And at the $5 level, then you get all the post games and that extra coverage that we do every day. You know, and the regular shows at 6 o'clock live every Monday through Friday. Then we have the post game for members, and you guys get that content first. And sometimes you're the only ones who get that content. And then at the $10 level, you get all of our shows. So your calls, and when you upgrade, I see that as well. I'm going to read out more names in a second. In fact, let me just get these. Ryan Couture, LC Torres. Oh, I missed it. TJ, thank you guys. Phil Grossman, Urban Astronomy, and I'll read the rest in a minute. Beavis 4220, that's funny. Tim M. Rodney Fong, thank you so much for the YouTube super chat. Aiden Evans, you guys are amazing. So guys, as things stand now, to wrap up Trump's condition, no question that over the last 2 days he had trouble breathing. It sounds like they definitely had him on oxygen at some point. His doctor says he's not on oxygen now. There are people inside the White House, it looks like the chief of staff, who say that they're very concerned about his condition. He's still at Walter Reed, and at some point, I got to do a video for you guys on what happens if things take a turn for the worse. I'll explain the 25th Amendment, how that works, and what it would, how you put Mike Pence in charge, when he would have to become in charge, how he relinquish it if Trump gets better. And we'll also talk about political ramifications as well. I'll do these updates for you guys throughout the weekend, and that's why you guys being members and supporting our sponsors, etc., makes such a big difference to us. It allows us to get you more and more coverage and up-to-date coverage. And then I'll also do a video a little bit later about all of the Republicans who now have coronavirus. I mean, I'm sure it's not half the party at the national level, but it feels like it. So many giant names now have it because they were all together, and none of them paid any attention to the precautions they should have taken. And if, is that the chickens coming home to roost? you would be twisting the truth if you didn't say that it was. It obviously is. They said not to wear a mask. They didn't wear a mask. They were wrong. Now a ton of them have coronavirus. And look, one person has a very good chance of recovery. 10, 20 people have it. Okay, then the numbers flip, and 1 to 2 of those folks do have some chance of not recovering. So that's the math on the Republican Party now. So brace for impact on that. And that is not good news. I get the schadenfreude, but you don't want to root for anybody to not have good health. And you want clean, fair elections. I'm happy to take those guys on. And boy, on the polling, we had them on the ropes. And hopefully I'll do a poll watch video for you guys as well. Now, let me, and if I miss anybody here, guys, I'm so sorry, and it might have gone by already, but let me do my best in giving the shout outs here to all the people who gave. So Joe Sanderson, thank you, brother, for using YouTube Super Chat. Turbo Wolf 9 million, thank you for using Super Chat. But guys, and I'd love to answer all your questions, and maybe we'll do a whole video doing that. But for now, let me just read out the names. Cairo Duplessis just joined. These are all people who just joined. Gabriel Lou. Sky Pigeon, that's a fun name. Sorry that I shake the camera. Using Super Chat, Rare Findit, and Zed Eckhard. Thank you guys. Zach said, run, Cenk, run. So I was running my Cenk 2020 shirt yesterday, jogging, and people are like, go 2022. Hell no. Okay, but I'm going to help progressives running. And I'm not shy about that at all. Though part of the point of the Young Turks is to get everybody changed. That's why you joining also makes a giant difference. We're all pushing for change together. Shervatsan Ragavan, thank you for the YouTube Super Chat. Joaquin, I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you. Lauren W, thank you for joining. Velveteen Best, thank you for joining. Brainstorm Homeschool Academy. All right, everybody check that out. Thank you for joining and becoming a Young Turks member. Seville Natas, thank you for using YouTube Super Chat. Paul Elfring, thank you for becoming a member. Ryan Coutier, or Cooter, sorry, I can't pronounce it right. Elsie, Taurus Wong, and by the way, I feel your pain. Cami Gutierrez just joined. My name is Cenk Uygur, but it's spelled with a C. Nobody can pronounce it, so we're in the same soup, brother. TJ, I read to you guys earlier. Frederick just used YouTube Super Chat, and we appreciate it. Phil Grossman just signed up. Urban Astronomy signed up. I already read Beavis and Tim M, I believe I read. Tanya Buchel and Kelvin Hunt just signed up. Rodney Fung, I think I thanked. Robert English just signed up. Aiden Evans just signed up. Mike Bedreau just signed up. Photon Rays Waves. Okay, that's already fun. Just signed up. Lee Weiler just signed up. Sorry for shaking the camera. Brandon Stotsnay used YouTube Super Chat. Darla Norton just signed up. Beauty and Beyond just signed up. But to answer your question about the Republicans, when are they going to start getting coronavirus, he asked. Are you kidding me? Rare Findit just signed up. Stay Sneaky just signed up. No, brother, a ton of them already have coronavirus. Let me do that video for you guys just a little bit later in the day. It's stunning how many Republicans have coronavirus now. CMDR, Act Liz just signed up. CDMR Guerra Marinero, sorry again, signed up. Kayvon Whitlicker, Frank Nitty. I'm missing folks. Patrick Teuscher. Jim Spry, Joshua Mendika, you guys are all amazing. Andrew Mefford, these are all new members. John Ristow, BSG Wolf just signed up, and I read you Duplessis. Justin Maga just signed up. Let me see if I could find that one person that I missed. I hate missing anybody. Luis Gallegate. I can't spit it out. Gallegos just signed up. All right, I gotta go, guys. All right, I think it might have been Frank Nitty. Ken Starks, you guys are wonderful. You guys are wonderful. Tony Della Riva, Peg Peck, we're all over the world. We're all over this country. We do this show together. Let me get you further updates as we go. Dantastic, you're fantastic. Thank you for signing up. Mike Burns using YouTube Super Chat. Gray Sample, Capron Real Estate Agency, Porta Plata. Yes, that's actually a, 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 a handle and just signed up. And I hate missing folks. I love you guys. All right. And I think this is the person I missed. Yes, Jennifer Lynn just signed up. Baki Vlogs, thanks for using YouTube Super Chat. You guys are going to keep me here all day. Okay. All right. I love you guys. I'll be back in a little while. Hani Sassani, Jennifer Farwell. You're going to make me read names all day. All right. Guys, I'll give you all the updates you need. Terry Simmons, let's root for everyone's health, and then let's root to win the election. All right. See you soon. Joined on Packing number 45, Assad Paul.